Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another phenomenal episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the Monarch of Mardi Gras, the Baroness of Bourbon Street. When she's not co-hosting what am I saying? When she's not co-hosting Ringside Society, she's on crazy misadventures such as picking fights with random people while dressed up as one of the Road Warriors, looking for the fabled Cobra Kai dojo, and going back to 1885 for freshly churned butter, Louisiana's own Kathy Knight. In the second quarter, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye Spinach. He is the tranquil dart of Ringside Society and Delaware's greatest American hero. It takes two to make a thing go right. He's Rob Bass, and you are not. And the third corner, we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching, always positive, life is great, repping 592, living in the 718, no cap, straight facts, the worldwide starboy, Remy Blue. And our special guest tonight is a woman who is pretty much one of the most intimidating and scariest guests that we have ever had on Ringside Society. And in the next couple minutes, I'm about to go and hide behind Kathy because I don't want no smoke. And yeah, I'm not built like that. But our special guest tonight is a woman who was recently victorious over Kayla Sparks via submission at CCW Battleground. Everybody, welcome to the show, The Darkest Hour, Mother Endless.
Woo! Woo!
Mother Endless, I know you're a busy woman, so we're about to make it happen like a captain and make this quick because we know you're busy at plotting for the next, batch of your opponents that are gonna feel the wrath. But we just have to say congratulations on your win. It was very impressive. You tied up a loose end in Kayla Sparks. How does it feel?
Well, I must say I knew well beforehand exactly how that match would go down. Kayla was under my tutelage for some time, and she decided that it was more important to make friends than it was to become a warrior. So I did what I had to do, what only I could do.
Wow. I don't think she saw it coming either. I mean, as much energy as she has and as much, gusto that she has, and motivation, I don't think she saw what you had planned for her either. So, but I gotta ask you, Mother Endless, how, you're called the darkest hour. How did it all lead up to this? How did you become pretty much the mistress of the void? Was it inherited? Was it a tragic event where somebody wronged you and you decided, hey, you know something? It's time for me to go to the dark side and take care of business? Or was it some other event that we're completely missing?
I have always existed in some form or another, perhaps not recognizable to you in the visage that you see before you, but there has always been darkness in the hearts of man. And that darkness, that doubt you see when you look in the mirror, the self questioning, all of those things are me. I have merely coalesced into one being so that I might traverse the world of pro wrestling.
Wow. That is very awesome and a very great story to hear. So with that being said, that's great. That's very great to hear. Who now that you're done with Kayla Sparks, is there anybody else or any number of people that should be fearful of you? That is And not to quote Bill Goldberg, they may be next.
They're all next. They should all be fearful. I've come to CCW not to gain belts or accolades or applause or please the crowd. I am there only to show each and every person that steps in the ring with me just what darkness is.
Awesome. Now, we've noticed that you've actually formed somewhat of an alliance with Gabby Ortiz. She took to your teachings well, teachings of the darkness well. But will you be willing to mold any more minds to those dark teachings in order for them to be more successful in the ring?
As a mother, I am willing to guide any of those who wish to walk the way of the warrior. The path is different for all, but it is open to any.
Awesome. With that being said, Mother Endless, maybe you can actually give me a little bit of advice. So, I've always considered myself my mentor, George Alonso. You may run across him real soon. He's always been the Obi-Wan Kenobi to my Anakin Skywalker. And of course, if you're a Star Wars, or if you've heard of the story of Star Wars, Anakin eventually became a bad guy, or he actually turned to the darkness, and that sort of made him a better person. And I myself have actually said, hey, I'm the Anakin Skywalker, just that I haven't turned to the darkness yet. And sometimes Kathy pisses me off. She does things that make me like want to snap, and then she encourages Rob, and it only happens. He only does that when he's around her. But what advice would you give me? Should I go to the darkness, or should I just try my best to stay in the light?
There is darkness and light within each and every one of us. We must take the path that serves us best, but I warn you, do not indulge yourself in darkness for the wrong reasons. Should you do it for frivolity, it might backfire on you in ways you can't imagine.
Point well taken. Kathy, you may be lucky this time. But then again, I don't know. Sometimes you tend to scare me as well. But Mother Endless, I'm gonna turn it over to Kathy. I know she has some questions for you, and I'm gonna go hide in the corner real quick. So Kathy, go ahead. Floor is yours.
All right, thanks, Remy, I guess. Good evening, Mother Endless. How's it going?
Greetings, I'm well.
Good. So my first question is, how did you get the face paint and the mask and your gear? Because it's pretty badass.
All of the visual aspects that you see before you come to me from nature. There are poisonous flowers that look the way my face does. And my mask? Well, that is to conceal what you should never look upon. All of it is a package that you could barely understand. However, your subconscious soaks it in because it comes from a primal place in all of humanity.
That's pretty interesting. So, you also have a symbol too, and I was trying to guess it. Hopefully, I can guess it right. There's like so it looks like two people watching. There's like a backwards E, which I'm guessing is the M for mother, and then there's a regular E that's endless, and then it looks like an infinity symbol. Would that be correct to describe it that way?
It is quite close. You are correct with the E's and the M. The symbol itself is based on the Leviathan cross, the symbol for sulfur. It is also a symbol that has been used to describe how man is equal, not above or below. However, I have added a bit to it to make it more feminine.
That's pretty awesome. So my next question is, you do a lot of intergender matches. You also wrestle women. You wrestle men too. Do you have a preference, or you just welcome all comers?
I have no preference. Any warrior who is willing to step in the ring and face me is welcome in the ring with me. We spend so much time defining and trying to understand our sexes. When we are in the ring, we are all equal.
I'd agree with that. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, you know, a man can't fight a woman." Sure, they can, and you know, it's an athlete and an athlete, a wrestler versus wrestler. People should see it that way, and not just a man and a woman. So yeah, I totally agree with that. So you also have a little friend with you. It's a red kendo stick. What's the backstory behind that?
My stick
Oh, she's
that I
got
like
it
to
too.
have
Oh boy.
by my side whenever possible. I've trained with this. This is the extension of myself, and it is used mainly for discipline and humiliation. When I
Wow.
train, it keeps my senses sharp. However, I rarely do need to use it in the ring. And if I do, it is only to make a very specific point.
Ooh, yeah, Rob's getting shivers there because he knows that when you get to him, he knows about that kendo stick. I saw the picture there, but yeah, woo! I don't want to be on the business end of that for sure. So you have wrestled in CZW, which is like a very hardcore promotion. How did you get in CCW? Because you are hardcore and pretty badass yourself. So how did you get into that promotion?
And gratitudes. I had spent some time training in their dojo specifically to learn the ways of ultraviolence. I find that taking a concept such as wrestling or a concept such as hardcore wrestling, to truly understand any concept, you must take it from its most bare bones to its most extreme limits. And that is how I found myself at CZW.
Awesome. I was watching your promos too. I must say, like, you're an awesome wrestler. You have an awesome like appearance, and your promos are very killer. I was very impressed by them too. Like every promo that you've ever cut, like, is just awesome. So I have to commend you for that for sure.
Gratitudes are what we do in the ring is not only physical, but it is very psychological. And that game is played not only during the match, but before and after.
So I have two more questions. Well, yeah, two more questions before I send it over to Rob. I know he's kind of shaking in his boots over there, but it's gonna be okay, Rob. We had the Insidious one. She is now the Insidious Sid Mars on our show, and she said she would love to wrestle you, and that would be a dream match of mine too. To see, would you want to wrestle the Insidious Sid Mars?
Absolutely. I have followed her for some time on her journey, and I respect her brutality. I respect her insidiousness. If one day her and I could meet in battle, oh, it would be for the ages.
I hope I would be there to see it. So before I turn it over to Rob, you do have a show this coming Saturday. This Saturday in Pennsylvania for ACPW. Do you have anything else besides that show coming up?
I have some more things coming down this spring, and if you are interested, I will be posting them on the interwebs in my social media. But you'll see me in Maryland, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey.
Awesome. Hopefully you can make it down south one day to maybe Texas or Louisiana, because that would be awesome. Before I turn it over to Rob, I just want to say thank you for coming on the show. I actually found you through Rob in CCW, and I was like, wow, this Mother Endless is awesome. So thanks for coming on the show, and thanks for allowing us to interview you.
And gratitudes for having me.
All right, Rob.
All right. How you doing, Mother Endless? Thank you for letting sparing my soul this weekend and let me go home and hang with my hounds. I appreciate that. Because I know when I walked up on you, it was all darkness and all that stuff, and I got kind of scared, and I was thinking about having to play the Beetlejuice card. You know what I mean? So I had to get out of there quick. Yeah. Plus, I don't need him, running around causing mischief and all that stuff. So I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Indeed, you are quite welcome.
See, I'm all nervous and scared and stuff. I'm dropping things and all like that. Yeah, I'm all shaking. I don't even know. I don't know how I'm going to get through this, but I'm going to try. So
I have faith
do
in
have.
you.
Okay, thank you very much. I believe in myself too. So I do got to ask. I know since you can't do it on YouTube because they got all that stuff going on, but is it still proper to drink from the skulls of your enemies?
Should you acquire the skulls of your enemies, however, the laws in the United States do make it quite difficult, even if someone were to willfully gift you their skull. In fact, I did have an opponent who wanted to gift me their skin should they pass on after the match. However, he and I have yet to be able to meet in the ring. Should it happen, I would take that skin. I would take that skull, and I would drink from it happily. Until then, we will have cheers with Crystal.
There you go. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Now, would you wear that skin? Would you make that skin into a coat or something like that, or are you just going to hang it up? For when you're, this is what happens. When my dick falls.
I would
That's from Mother Endless.
absolutely make that into perhaps an entrance cowl, one of my masks. There's so much you can do with leather.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that. Now, Kathy was already touching on that about when your promos and stuff. Yeah, those are awesome and stuff. Now, have you ever come across, any monsters when you're going into the abyss to, come across that? And if you have, what's the quickest time you've taken a monster out or whatever? Because I believe it's they don't mess with you like that. You put a curse on them, they're done.
I have had the chance to encounter some monsters. Holodead, Funny Bone, just two to speak of. Now, I would say of them and of monsters in general that it is not about defeating them. It is about learning from them. It is what you can take, what you can gain, what strength, what new part of monstrosity you can incorporate into your own being. So I am not looking to destroy monsters. I am looking to learn from them.
Well, have you come across you learned any dangerous stuff that you can use on your opponents? And and is it something you can share, or are we going to have to wait and watch? See the destruction in the ring.
You indeed will have to wait and watch. If we shared all of our knowledge, then it would become yours.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's a good one. That's cool. So, where is somewhere that you would like to go and take souls from? Is there any like dream place, like anywhere in the world, like Australia, Japan, Europe, or something? Somewhere Mother Endless should go and start taking souls.
I absolutely have my eyes set on Japan. There are so many monsters in Japan, although I will go wherever I am summoned. There is no place and no experience that I do not wish to have, for that is why we are all here, is to consume this world.
Well, hey, I know if you ever go to Japan, I got money on you. If any kaiju's, come about or whatever, I'm not taking Godzilla or King Kong or anything. I'm with you on this one. You can tear them up. Now, I do have to ask, are there, yeah, since you're into that dark stuff and stuff, do you watch any of those horror movies? And are there any, do you get ideas from them or whatever, to use on your opponents? And also, do you have any good ones I could, recommend? Because I like watching horror movies. Even though I'm so afraid of all that stuff, I like watching.
Generally, I prefer literature to the moving picture
Okay.
because it does allow your mind to open up more. The horrors are not constrained by someone else's vision, and you can make them your very own. And in that sense, Lovecraft, Poe, Clive Barker, even King, all of these authors have inspired pieces of darkness within myself.
Hey, all those lyrics, everything you said there is pretty good. I've read before and stuff, and they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I do need to stop watching the movies and getting reading books more. You know what I mean? So hopefully with you, I'm gonna start doing that. Because I don't need your get any more PTSD from getting choked out with your implement of destruction anymore. You know what I mean? Like I'm good. I learned my lesson. Now, before I pass it on back to Remy, I do want to say thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on and chat with us. It was definitely awesome. You know what I mean? I faced my fears. You know what I mean? And I think I'm good to go. And hopefully, maybe I can see you down the road or whatever, another CCW event. Hopefully I don't interrupt you if you got a Ouija board or whatever, the things are called. So, what I mean? I'm trying to stay on your good side.
Every time we face our fears, we become a little stronger. And so I commend your efforts here today.
Thank you very much. And I wish you nothing but I hope you do nothing but collect souls and beat your opponents and collect championships and stuff everywhere you go, and keep acquiring that knowledge.
Gratitude.
Mother Endless, thank you very much for gracing us with your presence. We really and truly do appreciate it, and we look forward to actually seeing you in action again. I think I speak for Rob, and I also speak for Kathy, which is something I don't normally do because they're grown people. They're grown people, but I think I speak for all three of us when I say we would definitely like to see Mother Endless versus the Insidious Sid Mars. That would be comparable to John Cena versus The Rock, or pretty much what's another classic that we've been wanting to see. I can't think of another one off the top of our head, but that would definitely be a classic that we definitely would like to see. And I'm gonna say CCW. VWR, Mission Pro, Shimmer, Shine, WSU, whoever's running, the women's promotions, or even heck, those of you that have female wrestlers, you got an idea for a dream match here. It's all up to y'all. But before I go ahead and ask you for your to share where fans can find you on social media, I'm feeling very what's the word? Generous today.
Froggy. Oh.
No, not froggy. I just got done working two jobs, my guy. I'm not frog the least one from it. But I'm gonna let one fan ask a question, a respectful question. So whoever's in the chat right now, make it quick. We're running down on time. I'm gonna let you ask one question. So make it good. And yeah. But matter of fact, Sharky Jones, you said fan question time. I'll let you have this one since you already asked already. Okay, so Sharky Jones actually asked Mother Endless, do you play chess? A battle that would end the other.
Indeed. This is a game I have not played in many, many years, although it was something in my youth that I was quite adept at. It is a great exercise for the mind. It will open up doorways that you never expected. I shall have to get back. I'm a bit rusty.
Wow. Well, there you have it, Sharky. But with that being said, it's about time for us to shut down this show. But before we do so, Mother Endless, once again, 1,000 times gratitude for actually appearing on our show. Before we end it, where can fans find you on social media when they want to find out what your next experience is, purchase Mother Endless merchandise, also maybe get some advice on the dark side and whatnot? And where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows and see you punish and take the souls of your opponents?
I'm easy to find on the interwebs. Simply search for Mother Endless. I am on the Instagram, the Twitter, the YouTube, the Facebook, all of the interwebs. You can find me. Should you want to reach out to me so that I might come and grace you with my presence and punish opponents for you, reach out to me through Instagram. It is most certainly the most active place that you will find me on the interwebs.
Awesome. So y'all heard, she's on Instagram, she's on Twitter. Definitely give her a follow. Check out her matches, promoters. Whenever you're ready, she gave her information. So the rest is up to y'all. But Insidious Sid Mars versus Mother Endless. That's a ringside society dream match we'd like to see. I'm sure many other fans would like to see that as well. And for those of you that don't know who Insidious Sid Mars is, well, check out Reality of Wrestling. That's all I'm saying about that. But with that being said, it's about time to shut it down. My eyelids are getting heavy, so that means it's time for a bit of a nap. Maybe after Raw, I don't know, it depends on how I feel. But with that being said, Kathy Knight, where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, all things Becky Lynch and Paige, and all the other good stuff?
So I'm on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and Discord, all at BLUE70517.
Cool. Rob Bass, where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, find out what your next experiences, purchase Rob Bass merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
All right, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch, Rob_Bass82, and then Facebook, YouTube, Rob Bass.
Awesome, cool. And if you want to find me on social media, not that I have anything cool or interesting to say, but who knows, maybe one day you'll get lucky and actually see it. You can find me on Twitter at the Remy Blue. You can also find me on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue. Our podcast is on Instagram and Twitter at Ringside Society. We're on Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We also have a YouTube channel, which is where we're streaming right now. So make sure you follow us on that. Make sure you follow all our videos because you don't want to miss a thing. We have a lot of interesting interviews coming up. And we also have a lot of interesting interviews from the past, like Insidious Sid Mars, Roxy Boricua, all the way from Puerto Rico, and also, Marek Brave and a lot of other interesting people. So definitely check us out. Trust me, you will be impressed. But with that being said, and we also have a Teespring store. Definitely check us out. We have merchandise of all kinds, and we have more designs coming in. All proceeds go back into keeping this show afloat. And also, we also have a Facebook group as well. So also check out our Facebook group. One last thing. We also don't forget, we also have 15 Minutes of Fandom, which is our wrestling fan interview segment where we interview wrestling fans. So if you're a wrestling fan like all three of us here, definitely hit us up if you want to be on the show, and we'll make it happen. But with that being said, We just want to thank everybody tuning in tonight live. We really and truly appreciate it. Those of y'all that are going to listen to us later on, thank you very much in advance. And those of y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away. Well, like myself at the Golden Corral, Rob Bass at the Taco Festival, and Kathy Knight at Cafe Du Monde for the buy one, get one free special. We're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
We ain't stopping. But with that being said, we just want to let everybody know that we here are very well with everybody and their grandparents and their parents of a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hey, yo, Rob Bass, Kathy Knight, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, and one time for the darkest hour in wrestling. Mother Endless.
Woo!
What type of podcast are we?
All right. 3, 2, 1. We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast. We're going to work on that unison. But until then, y'all do us 4, and we mean 4 favors. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy, Delaware.
Bye.